Welcome to the Opinionated Monsters. I'm Scott McClelland of Carnival Diablo.
I'm Sanzi from OttawaHorror.com.
I'm Kevin the Zombie King from ZombieInfo.com.
I'm Jessica, prosthetic limb technician.
Yes. Well, today we are going to be talking about iconic weapons used in horror movies. How nice.
You know, one of the things I've always said is that one of the scariest things you can do is take something normal or regular and turn it into something creepy. So my two definitely have to fall into that category. My first, number one, still favorite, and possibly because you see it so often and I just can't help but thinking, the kitchen knife. Michael Myers took an ordinary, everyday household appliance, the knife you used to cut your vegetables, and turned it into something deadly. I mean, it already is deadly. It's a knife. I mean, we all know what a knife is, but every time you pull a knife out of the block, you have to look at it and go, there, but for the grace of God.
Don't you always hope for the shing sound too?
Oh, actually, it does that if you have the right block.
Yeah.
If your block doesn't shing, you need to work on your block.
And of course,
Yeah,
your knife actually was precursed by a big knife in Psycho.
That's true. Well, actually, yeah,
It was wonderfully showcased.
That
in
was
the shower.
exactly. I thank you. I totally forgotten the
Yeah.
Psycho shower scene, which is again, same thing. Taking that concept of something very ordinary and common, and then turning it into a wonderful weapon. But further to my concept of ordinary sort of things turned into weapons of mass destruction. My other one is, of course, Leatherface's favorite, the chainsaw.
The saw is family.
The saw is family.
It's huge.
It's
a big piece of equipment.
It's a big piece of equipment, and if anybody has actually, I don't know if any of you have actually used a chainsaw. I know you have.
I've used it.
I don't know if you have.
I have.
When you use a chainsaw, you are very much aware that this is something that could easily backfire and kill you. When you're using it. The effect to that was used in throughout its sort of history, but specifically Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which the sound as off screen, which let you know right away
Evil Dead.
this guy's coming. Well, Evil Dead was
Phantasm even.
Yeah.
They have a chainsaw fight.
Yeah. And again,
Whoa,
but it was
Phantasm
really it was Massacre that really I don't know if it was necessarily the first time it was ever used on screen, but it was really the one that solidified it. And that concept of just hearing that sound off screen and knowing somebody's coming with you for the sole purpose of killing you. Not because you're evil. Not because, I mean, you can get into the whole Jason thing, but realistically, Jason kills you because you had sex or you were doing drugs or you were doing something morally bad.
Jason was God.
Yeah. Michael and Leatherface were coming
Sometimes
to kill
you did
you
because you
simply
could.
because they could, because they wanted to.
Yeah, that's true.
And that to me made them and those weapons far scarier because they were killing you not because of anything you did, but simply because that's what they did. They killed people.
I actually agree with Howard about the chainsaw. I think the chainsaw is probably easily one of, if not the most iconic weapon, probably in a horror movie history. Of course, yes, it was featured heavily in the eponymous Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it first appeared, as far as I know, in the 1968 Dark of the Sun. From there, it was featured in Last House on the Left. Interestingly, I thought it was very cool in later re-releases. They actually marketed it as the original Chainsaw Massacre film. What I like about it is it hasn't always been used just by the villains. It was also used in The Evil Dead by our hero. I think they did it absolutely beautifully. When Ash
Cuts off
his own hand.
Spoilers.
With the spoilers. Cuts off his hand with the chainsaw and attaches the same chainsaw to the bloody stump where his hand used to be.
Who's laughing now?
He then deems it groovy. And I think that
We love you, Bruce Campbell.
It was deemed groovy, and he said it was good.
I think the thing about the chainsaw is just the thought of like, you can think of what it's like to be stabbed with a knife, and it's going to be painful, it's going to hurt, but the
And it's
thought of
also-
something with gears and stuff chewing you apart.
Yeah, but
is
the
just
thing
so...
with the knife is it's quiet, and it's
Yeah.
like a whisper of, I've been stabbed.
Yeah.
Whereas the chainsaw's coming from a distance. So you got to figure it out. Like, is there any place to run? Am I completely
Well, it's definitely got the market cornered on the complete dismemberment
Yes.
as a means of murdering
Yes.
people.
Agreed.
So speaking of prosthetic limbs as weapons, another great example is Cherry Darling in Planet Terror. After her leg is torn off by zombies, her boyfriend Elray attaches a broken off table leg, which I mean she has some success with, and she subsequently uses it to stab Quentin Tarantino through the brain.
Something we all wish we could do.
A really hard thing to aim for.
Well, there's so much of it though. So where Cherry really hits her stride is when the table leg is replaced with a modified M4 carbine with grenade launcher. How she actually fires the gun is forever going to be a mystery. But there's just something so satisfying about watching her mow down just this horde of zombies
While doing a pirouette.
I actually have the answer for how she fires it. Kegels.
Jedi? Oh.
Kegels. Kegel exercises.
Look it up.
But yeah, so my list seems to be fairly prosthetic limbs as a weapons centric, but I'm okay with that.
But my weapons are a little more hands-on. I think one of the more brutal things I've ever seen, and it sticks with me to this day, was in Halloween 2. Michael Myers. Now, at this point, the slasher film had hit its stride. There was other slasher films coming out. So all of a sudden it became, what's the most inventive way to dispatch someone? Yeah. Well, Michael Myers, I think, just kind of said, you know what? Claw hammer. Claw hammer. There's nothing. He picked up the hammer and you thought, oh, he's just going to, nope. Yeah. Flip that sucker around, drove right to the back of this guy's skull. And the sound, the expression on the actor's face, it is one of just such pure surprise that it's ingrained. I just think to myself, ooh. Thing is, all these weapons, though, I mean, they are only as deadly as the hands that hold them. And I think one of the more brutal things that I've ever seen in a horror movie is someone basically taking their hands, reaching it into somebody's eye sockets, and pulling their nose forward.
Yeah. That, not necessarily horror, but the moment in Blade Runner when Rutger Hauer crushes Terrell's head.
Yeah.
And you see the hand start to go in the eyes and you hear that sound.
Oh, yeah.
For years, that sound would haunt me.
Even in Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D, we see it no longer in 3D, but it's, the head crushes and shifts.
Yeah.
And the eye pops out because it's a 3D effect. But you just go, hey, he's crushed his head. I mean, those moments are ridiculous. Somebody punching their hand through somebody's chest. It's like, what just happened? Somebody's face being pushed into the side of an RV. Their face is getting crushed. It's, again, just the human strength. And then, of course, I'm the zombie king. I'm just going to say it. Nothing grosser than getting bit up and chewed up by a zombie. You see that, everybody goes, oh, God, because they always usually get that big chunk of your neck and it comes all the way in sinew and stuff. Hands, teeth, claw hammer, those are the more interesting ones for me, anyway.
Well, I have a couple favorites, and they have nothing to do with utensils or things that you can find in your garage or woodshed. They actually have nothing to do with any reality whatsoever, and yet they are, to me, the most iconic things ever used in horror to kill with. And the first one is...
a box?
Inside of here.
The moment has happened. He's going to kill me on screen.
Only if we're lucky.
I can only dream. Yes, a sphere. Now, simply, this would be not very frightening unless it's floating in midair and two pronged barbs come out of it and go straight into your head and start drilling your brains out. This is one of the most iconic things you will see in horror. It's not a very scary horror film, but Phantasm 1 through wherever is wonderful because, well, you've got yourself
big silver balls all up in your face. I would actually argue, though, that it's not just a weapon. They're actually kind of the villain, the spheres.
They are. And the thing is like, all the things that I enjoy in horror films have nothing to do with things that we would normally use to kill people. They are things that are so alien to what we would use that we never would have thought of them until we saw the movie itself. Exactly. Which brings me to my second favorite way of killing, which happens to be about Oh,
In
Jason.
Yeah.
dreams- Wait, what?
Exactly. No, actually,
Fooled ya.
I'm lying. I'm Michael Myers.
Try again.
5 times.
Oh, fine. William Shatner.
No, he kills with bad acting.
Yes. Freddy Krueger. This was something that had to be built, and it was
Yeah.
built during the beginning of the actual movie. You saw it happening in the film, and there was something wonderful about the fact that this was something created for killing.
Oh,
It
yeah.
wasn't something you found and used, as you guys have all talked about.
Yeah.
It was something he thought about and
Yeah.
said, "This is how I want to destroy young people."
Well-
I'm like, what? Destroy young people? It's like, what? This was frightening. And
You're just mad he thought of it first.
yeah, I am actually. I'm a little pissed. The fact is, all of my favorite things for weapons for killing are things that aren't organic, but actually created by either some kind of alien force, such as these phantasmic orbs, or by some kind of maniac that had a terrible need for killing
I'm
differently than
kind
anything
of
else.
curious. One you didn't that I would have thought would have gone into that list then would be the Lamont configuration.
The who?
The Lamont
I
configuration.
wouldn't say that's
What do you-
necessarily so
Hellraiser
much
cube.
a weapon,
Oh,
though.
I'm
I think
sorry.
it's more of a key.
I guess so.
It's a key to open it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's not really a weapon.
What is your pleasure? See, the thing
Yeah.
is, it could be something good for you if you really like that
Yeah.
kind of shit.
What I
We
find
have
so
such
interesting
sights to
about
show.
Freddy's Glove is when you watch the entire series, there's actually this evolution.
Yes.
I can't remember which it was, but he actually had them at one point coming out of his fingers.
Yeah,
Did
like
not care
bones.
for that. Did
Yeah.
not
No, I
care
didn't
for the
care for
bone
that either.
claws.
But I think that ultimately that's the beauty of horror is we are frightened by so many different things, whether it be organic, whether it be completely out of this world, such as even in the movie Alien.
Yeah.
You've never seen a creature like these 3 things that you experience during the movie, and yet they are the most frightening things in the world to you because the fact that the way you're experiencing them is terrible. Through the chest,
Yeah,
on the face, through the mouth. It's like all these
Yeah.
things are just like the most exciting things.
They-
And I'm off topic here, but that's it. That's what we're loving.
But that's
Yes.
what it comes
Yes.
back to. is
Still a weapon.
Two of the things.
It is
Two of the
weapon.
two of the two
killing
two of the
machine.
biggest things that, or well, actually, the biggest fear that we as humans have
Is death.
is death. Exactly. Well, it's actually I'd go actually one step back. The biggest fear we have in general is the unknown, and there is no bigger unknown than death.
Agreed.
And clowns.
Clowns?
Words can hurt like weapons, but far less pointy. Or they can heal. And we want to see some of your words down below in the comments section. Tell us what you think of the episode today. Let us know what your favorite weapons are. Or just tell us what you think.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Share with your friends.
We seem to be all over this Intertubes thing. I'm told that, people actually, thumbs up and like us. This looks like this.
No, Howard!
Yeah, see? Exactly.
It's okay,
not
I can't-
terrifying.
Fortunately, I can't die from an air bubble to the brain because, well, it's questionable whether or not I have one.